आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। गुकारस्त्वन्धकारश्च ऋकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वा गुरुरित्यभिधीयते
भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। We are going through an important section. What is the section? The section on the relationship between Bhagavan and the universe. A very intriguing section, and a section that is often contemplated as this section is often thought about like, oh, how did this world come into being? In fact, that is the entry point for many people into Vedanta Shastra itself. So Vedanta Shastra, generally we say, has 3 entry points. Jiva entry point, meaning who am I? What makes me tick? Why am I like this? Why do I have these issues? Why am I getting angry, even though I know it is of no use? Why am I sad, even though I want to be happy? This is called the Jiva entry point. What is this Jiva? And sometimes people are not very introspective about themselves. They are not asking these kinds of questions. They are not asking, who am I? Why am I like this? Why am I reactive in certain ways? What are my issues? These things they are not asking. ये सब नहीं पूछ रहे हैं. They are not asking these things. What are they asking? They are asking, why are you there? Why are you in my life? And why are you so annoying? And why is the neighbor on this side so noisy? And why is the neighbor on that side so nosy? See, nosy and noisy, just one eye is there separating the two. That means the problem is with the eye, not with the neighbor, okay? Either on this side or that side. So this one is nosy, that one is noisy, and the other one is an in-law who happens to behave like an outlaw. And what these people are? In fact, the Jagat would be so easy, so nice, so wonderful if you were not in it. If you were not in it constricting me, it would be wonderful. Don't think that this is any other entry point. This is also Jiva entry point. Only thing here is one is not introspective about oneself. One is actually wondering about other Jivas who whose very presence in the universe is bothersome to me. That is itself is a great entry point. It is still the Jiva entry point. And then the other entry point is the Jagat. Second entry point is Jagat. Why is the Jagat like this? Why is it so hot, so hot, so hot? People in India are asking. Summer has already come. Oh no, why is it so hot? And then they by the time one finishes asking that question, then rainy season comes. Why is it raining so much? When winter comes, why is it so cold? Why the laws of the universe behave like this? And why is it in this particular way? And also, when we look a little deeper into the laws of the universe, the Jagat, we find that there is very little that you can do about it. What can you do about the rain? No, nothing. Nothing you can do about the rain. You can stay inside. That's all you can do. And like this, you find that there is less and less and less of the things that you control. You can't control anything. So the Jagat becomes a second entry point because the Jagat or the Jivas would not be an entry point into understanding Vedanta Shastra at all. Vedanta remains at the back burner, back of the head, back of the life until it interferes, until life interferes. And how does life interfere? You are not able to fulfill your raga and dvesha. Your wants and likes and dislikes you're not able to fulfill. That is why you first find some reason there to find out why is it that I'm not able to fulfill. Is it because of you? Is it because of this law of the universe? What is this? There is a pointing, moving finger that keeps shifting the blame from this one to that one to this thing to that thing because the human mind wants answers. And the Jagat is coming in the way of fulfilling my raga dveshas. I wanted to go out on a picnic, but it is raining. That itself is enough. It is raining. I want to have a picnic. But then picnic is not a picnic, got rained on, literally. Or I went to the picnic, found a nice spot in the grass, put a nice, what is its name, chadar. Chadar means a little covering, and then sat on that, put all the food out, and then had to leave in a hurry. Why? Pipilikaha, ants. The place is overrun with ants. Everywhere scratching, biting, burning sensations. And then you are so upset you even leave the food there as a sacrifice to the ants, as an offering to the ants, and then you have to run out of that place. Overrun with ants. And so this is again the Jagat you cannot control. And why do you need to control it? Because the Jiva has numerous means colossal, huge amounts of raga, dvesha to fulfill in any given life. Nothing should come in the way. And if the Jagat comes in the way, then I start wondering how to do this. What is this Jagat? How is it coming in the way? What is my connection to the Jagat? How come somebody else is controlling this Jagat? But then I have so many wants and don't wants. What to do with all this? This is the second entry point into Vedanta Shastra. Then for the more seasoned, there is the third entry point. What is the third entry point? Ishvara. Ishvara means the invisible person or a being, the invisible conscious being who supposedly runs this universe. You can't say that Ishvara is Jada. Little bit of analysis and makes you understand that Ishvara is not Jada. Why? Because you are not Jada. You are a conscious being. Ishvara therefore must be a conscious being. Kidrishosi Mahadeva, however you are. Wherever you are, I don't know. First of all, where are you? And how come you have left me to this Jagat, this cruel Jagat full of rain, ants, and all kinds of, poverty and all kinds of isms, racism, sexism, this ism, colonialism, this ism, that ism, and all these things. You have left me at the mercy, and you don't seem to be anywhere around. And guess what? It's all your fault. And there is something very nice in blaming Ishvara because he is the only being in the whole Jagat who cannot come to his or her own defense. Ishvara will not come and say, you know what, that was not the intention. No. Ishvara will remain fine whether you mentally think of Ishvara and give your choicest four-letter words, or if you go to the temple and blame Ishvara, Ishvara will be giving the Abhaya Mudra. This is called Abhaya Mudra, the blessing hand. Don't fear, I am here. In fact, I'm afraid of you. You, you are, what kind of an Ishvara are you? How can you give me so much sickness? How can you give me so much loss? How can you, in the name of laws, you are giving me loss? Loss after loss after loss. In fact, the word loss should be changed into loss from the standpoint of the jiva. Full of all kinds of losses, and you are having some fun time. And you, what kind of a being are you? Are you a sadistic being who is watching all this and getting some kind of a kick, a sick kick about what you have done to the world? Look at everywhere there is injustice, everywhere there is want, there is poverty, and some people, the 1% of the population who is the richest of them all is getting away with everything. Even if they go to jail, they are immediately granted bail and they can afford the bail and they come off shaking off any kind of difficulties. It's like all the rich people are made of Teflon, nothing sticks, non-stick surface. Insults don't stick. Indictments, many kind of criminal, when the people do some kind of, what is that called, hera-fairy, hanky-panky, they are caught. But then they're able to get out of it. They're able to get out of it. What kind of a world have you created? The 1% is enjoying 90% of the resources, and the 90% has to do with the 10, has to fight and jostle and push and pull to get a little piece of the 10% of the resources. What are you? And then there is, domestic abuse, there is difficulty, there's all kinds of things, there is just all kinds of issues happening in the universe. And where are you? Who are you? And why did you give me this kind of a life? Again, the raga dveshas are not being fulfilled. Not only that, the neighbor doesn't seem to have any problem fulfilling their raga dveshas. Why me? So in addition to being thwarted about fulfilling the raga dveshas, in addition to that, there is this feeling that one has been targeted, whereas the next person in the universe is having a great time at it. I am the only one being targeted. So this is called the Ishvara entry point. That is the thing. When your own karma phala, the results of your action come in the way, when the results of your own action come in the way of fulfilling your wants, then naturally Ishvara is to blame. Who else are you going to blame? Because Ishvara is the karma phala data, the giver of the results of action. And so, in this way, these are the three entry points into Vedanta Shastra. In this, and there is nothing superior or inferior about any of these entry points. They are just doorways. You can go through any doorway, you will still find yourself in the place that you want to be. It all leads back to you as Ishvara, a body of knowledge called Vedanta that is going to come to your rescue, handled by the Guru, who is also going to come to your rescue, but not in the way you think. Guru is not going to come and say, let me take you out of this mess. No. Guru revolutionizes the vision in keeping with the Vedanta Shastra, in keeping with the vision of the Upanishad. The Guru revolutionizes the vision so that you don't need any rescue. That is your cue to just rest in your own glory. There is no rescue needed. There's only a cue, no rescue. This is not the Hindu Dharma is not a salvific tradition. It does not promise salvation. Why? Because it's already saved. You are already Shuddha Buddha Nitya Mukta Atma. You are already free. You are already whole. You are already there. But to small detail, you don't know it. So the Guru fills that gap of ignorance, converts that into knowledge, dismisses the ignorance, converts that into knowledge. The knowledge of oneself shines. And there is no need for rescue. That is so any entry point is sacred. Doesn't matter. Now one is not better than the other. Asking who are you, O Lord, is not better than asking who am I, because you are the Lord as it's going to be revealed, as it's being revealed in the Upanishad. This is the Mahavakya, this is the oneness. So there is not that inferior or superior entry point. As long as you enter, it's enough. That's all is there. And here in this section, we are very privileged to look deeply into the entry point called Ishvara. What is this Ishvara? Where is this Ishvara? Who is this Ishvara? And then what is the connection of this Ishvara to this created Jagat? If Ishvara is the creator, then what is the material used to create? All these things we saw a little glimpse of it in section 1.1. We saw a little glimpse of that already. That the creation is very splendid because of the abhinna nimitta upadana karanatvam. That's a mouthful. What does that mean? That means that there is no difference between the effect, the creation, and the cause. The effect is non-separate from the cause. That is what it means. And therefore what? Therefore, this is something which is very, very beautiful. Therefore, if the effect is non-separate from the cause, can Ishvara ever be away from the universe? Of course, we already know the answer to that, having studied the section 1.1, that of course not. That which we think of as Ishvara is not a guy in the sky. Upar wala. You don't have to look up. You don't have to look up. It is very much here. Wherever you say here, that is Ishvara. There is Ishvara, here is Ishvara, above is Ishvara, below is Ishvara, cardinal directions Ishvara, non-cardinal directions Ishvara. Everything is Ishvara. And what about me? This body, mind, sense complex also Ishvara. So this is what we are seeing here. The nature of Ishvara we saw a little bit in the previous section. In this section, it is going to be elaborated. It is being elaborated even further, unfolded without any leaving anything to imagination. Without leaving anything unanswered, it is being elaborated and unfolded systematically. Systematically unfolded. Why? Because there are many blanks to fill in. Okay, Ishvara, the whole Jagat is Ishvara, then Ishvara has become the Jagat. No. Ishvara is Ishvara, Jagat is Ishvara. But how? That is what is being explained here. And that Shakti, which is the cause of the universe, what is the connection of this Shakti to Ishvara? Is Shakti a parallel reality? No. Shakti is nothing but Ishvara. Shakti is the manifestation of Ishvara. And that is what is being elaborated in this section. And then another important, question is that what is the connection of Ishvara to the created world? This created Jagat is there. Okay, I accept. Check. And then this created universe has some kind of a connection to the maker, the creator. What is the connection? That I don't know. All this is going to be, this is a very important and a beautiful section which reveals the nature of Ishvara, and especially in connection with the Srishtam Jagat. Srishtam Jagat means the created universe. So now, without much ado, um, let us look at the verse. I will share the text. Okay. So here is the one. Number 3. एतस्माज्जायते प्राणः मनः सर्वेन्द्रियाणि च खं वायुज्योतिरापः पृथिवी विश्वस्य धारिणी एतस्माज्जायते प्राणः मनः सर्वेन्द्रियाणि च खं वायुज्योतिरापः पृथिवी विश्वस्य धारिणी खं वायुर्ज्योतिरापः पृथिवी विश्वस्य धारिणी. So etasmat, tasmat. So tasmat means from that Brahman, from that Ishvara. Very interesting use of the preposition. So from that Ishvara, that means what? Away in time, away in space, not locally available. That is why the word Tat is used for Bhagavan, Ishvara. Jagataha Karanam. That cause of the universe is called Tat, because not locally available, not locally understood, not locally evident. In other words, that which I cannot objectify, that which I don't know, I refer as Tat, that person somewhere away in time and place, not familiar with that. Etasma. So that is so tasmat is the 5th case of the word tat in the masculine. Tat shabda. So tasmat 5th case of masculine and neuter also. So from that Brahman, the word Brahman is neuter, and so from that Brahman tasmat. But then now we are getting to know this Ishvara. We are getting to know this. We have already finished 2 verses, 2 mantras in this section. We are getting to know Bhagavan, and so therefore what? Then that tasmat becomes ye tasmat. That becomes this. That becomes this. And this is fun, because if somebody asks you after class, what did you study? You can say, oh, this and that. You can just say it like that, and you will be correct also. So, etasmat jayate pranah. So, from this etasmat, we have to add purushat. Why do we have to add purushat? Because that was already there in verse number 2. Divyaha amurtah purushaha. And that, see, just like in grammar, we are taught. First you put the noun, and then after using the noun first time, you can then use the pronoun. So the same argument, same rules in Sanskrit also apply. So you can't begin with a sentence with she went to the village in order to visit her native people. She went to her native village in order to visit her extended family. You cannot say, because you have no idea who she is. But then if you say like this, this is an essay about Sita and her whereabouts, or Sita and her activities, And then Sita is a resident of this village, but she hails. Then you can use the word she. She hails from another village, and she went to that. So first, similarly, we put the word Purusha here, and then from not that Purusha, because now after studying verse number 2, we know who this Purusha is. This is the Swarupa Lakshana, the Swarupa Lakshana of Brahman, which is the Swarupa Lakshana of you. We saw this in detail. It is your own Swarupa. So now familiarizing yourself with this Purusha, that Purusha has become this Purusha. We are getting closer to understanding who this Ishvara is. Isn't that fantastic? Lovely. And then we say, Etasmat, therefore the Upanishad says, Etasmat jayate prana. Jayate is born. What is born? Prana is born. And then what else is born? Manaha, the mind is born. Manaha here, please remember, includes all the other things. Buddhi, ahankara, chittam, all four. Manaha, is a general term for manaha, which is, so manaha is the general term which includes manaha. Here specifically manaha means that which is the indecisive faculty, buddhi, decisive faculty, and then buddhi, ahankara, the one that owns up everything as I, that the one that is identified with the body, mind, sense complex. Then chittam, the emotive faculty. All this is included in manaha. This also came from Ishvara. Sarva indriyani cha, all the indriyas. Jnanendriyas, 5 in number, sense organs. Do you want me to list them? Say no, so we can move on. Do you want me to list the sense organs?
No, so many.
No, good. All right, wonderful. And then 5 jnanendriyas, sense organs, and then 5 karmendriyas, organs of action. Hands, legs, and then panipadam, hand and legs, and then what else? The organs of elimination, organs of reproduction. This is the karmendriyas. That also has come from Bhagavan. But then how were they created? How were these kinds of things created? We have to find out, because we don't know how suddenly prana comes, mana comes, everything. Well, there is a krama in the creation. The creation is nothing but Bhagavan in the form of knowledge. What kind of knowledge? All knowledge. And so there is a krama. It's an orderly creation. And why is it an orderly creation? Because that order is Bhagavan. That happens to be Bhagavan. And that is in keeping with the human desire for order. Even somebody who lives like a pig wants order. Even somebody whose room looks like a pigsty wants order. They are sick of this. They are disturbed. Only thing, they want you to go into their room and clean it up. That's all. They don't want to clean it up. They want somebody else to come and clean it up. And if they are too old to have mother and father come and clean it up, and if mother and father are not there, then they will pay somebody to come and clean it up. Which is okay really, so long as it's orderly, that's what. The human mind wants order, because see, everywhere in the universe there is order. There is a synergy. There is a within without synergy. So beautiful. And if there is no order, the mind gets disturbed. And in a person whose emotions are well regulated. Regulated means there is a little bit of a cushion to live with the disorder. Especially somebody else's, because you are not responsible for somebody else's disorder. So then, one is able to somehow tolerate, at least to a certain extent, a little bit of disorder is tolerable. But in a mind that is not
Pure
well
mind.
regulated, like for example, if
This
somebody is
picks
on
up
the
where we were
autism
started.
spectrum, they cannot handle that disorders. You
They
see
can
them, they
exit it
get
out.
very disturbed. And some of them, if you go, even if they go to somebody else's house, what do? They start cleaning up properly. They start putting everything in order. They cannot handle things to be out of place at all. And so that means that there is a synergy, there's a craving for that orderliness, because in that orderliness, one finds oneself. Even on the empirical level, one finds one's purpose, one is connected to everything. That's why the universe is very orderly. And we may have the whole creation cosmology may be difficult to fathom. Maybe it is against logic. I mean, sorry, it is beyond logic. Beyond logic, okay, but it cannot be against logic. This is the idea. That for which logic is not a pramana, I can accept. I can accept that. Logic, this doesn't come in the realm of logic, I can accept that. I can say, okay, no problem. No, I can say that this is not in the realm of logic, this is beyond logic, meaning logic has no place in operating this means of knowledge called logic. There is no place here. It is beyond logic. That's why we need the Upanishad to unfold what is needing to be unfolded here. I have no problem with that. But if it is against logic, then it is very difficult. Very difficult. And sometimes, people take the Bible very literally. They don't take it figuratively. There are certain, denominations that take the Bible very literally. On the first day, God made this. Okay. On the second day, God created all this. On the third day, God made this. Then on the last day, God said, let there be light. And then there was light. All it needs is a 6-year-old to say, how come if the light came on the last day, how come you can say on the first day, on the second day, whatever it is to begin with? And then Sunday school teacher will say, don't ask questions. This is based on belief. Don't ask questions. These are all difficult questions. Don't ask questions. Because they themselves don't know how to understand this. They themselves don't know. But it has to be taken figuratively. This is, when a literal reading of a scripture does not yield anything, then you have to take it figuratively, metaphorically. So here, again, it's an orderly creation. And that order is followed. Otherwise, some prana is dropped. A person with prana is dropped. How? And prana is not dropped. A person with prana is dropped. A person wielding the mind is dropped. How? How did this come into being? What was, and the mind itches to know what is the raw material that powers this whole universe. And the answer that is given are the 5 elements which come in the next line. The 5 elements. The 5 elements first came in a subtle form, and then they came in a gross form. And from the subtle 5 elements, the subtle mind, etc., was created. Prana, vaya, all these things were created. And so that is being given here, the local authorship of my own mind. Very interesting. My mind is, of course, authored by Bhagavan, but then that does not really make me any closer to Bhagavan, because I wonder, what is this? But I can assimilate the fact that there is something, there is a principle, in this universe, of which everything is made from that. My mind, your organs of action, my organs of action, your sense organs, my sense organs, the sense organs of anybody inimical to me, the one who I don't like, the mind, the one whose mind I don't like, all of them are what? They are all a product of the 5 elements. Parinami upadana karana. This is what it is. The five elements have converted themselves into the mind, body, etc. All this on the local level. And so the five elements, you can't really see them and objectify them other than the earth, which is that's why it is pointed out separately. Many of them are very subtle. Fire, you can see fire, water, earth. That's about it. Air and space, you can't really objectify very easily. And so therefore, the beauty of it is that the five elements which are responsible, which are the local creators of everything, they themselves, are non-separate from me. Very interesting. So the earth which I see, the dirt which I see, the earth which I see, which upon which I can step. Yeah, let's see the translation first, then we can close this and then go in detail. Kham, space, Vayuhu, air, Jyotihi, fire, Apaha, water, Prithvi, earth. So that is responsible. From this Purusha are born. From this Purusha are born. All of these are born, and then they are all born. What is that? The sensory organs, the fire, water, earth, everything is born of this Purusha alone. Prithvi, the earth, which supports everything, supports the whole universe. And that is what it is. So now we'll see in more in detail the connection between the created five elements and the uncreated Ishvara. First of all, what is the connection? The five elements, as we will see in the verse that is next yet to come, the next verse, are nothing but a manifestation of Ishvara. That will be made very clear in the next mantra. So I am not going to dwell on that right now, because we just have to hang on to the suspense a little bit, and then it will be very, very quickly and easily clarified in the next mantra. For now, all we are going to look at is the connection between the I here and the five elements. What is the connection between me and the five elements? This is a very, very interesting thing to see. The earth upon which I step, which supports me, which is all what? Gravity. Through gravity, I always know where I am, and I can bank on the earth to not somehow pivot me into space. I know that I'm standing because the earth is supporting my weight. This is on the macro level. The earth is supporting my weight, your weight, everyone's weight, the weight of the plants, the trees, everything. And then what? On the micro level, it's the same earth that is supporting my frame in the form of bones. That earth outside are the bones within. Very, very interesting. So the bones are just like the earth. And they are, in fact, we would say, crafted from the earth. That same energetic principle that has made the earth has made the bones. Same kind of a thing. And then we have the next one, a little more subtle, is water. Then we talk about water which sustains life, which sustains everything. Again, on the macro level, it holds up the whole universe. Water does. And then it gives me within, in the micro world of my own body, mind, sense complex, it nourishes me in the form of blood, in the form of all the fluids I drink, in the form of all the endocrine fluids that do their jobs. 70% of the earth is water, 70% of the human body is liquid. Very, very interesting correlation. I am one with this Jagat. How can I fight with this Jagat? What is that? It's like the left hand fighting with the right hand and saying, I'm going to give you one. And this one says, I want to take revenge. Cannot happen. Sooner or later, they understand they are hurting themselves. So, hurting the earth is hurting myself. The land feels that I am putting in the earth of all non biodegradable things. All of them. What is that? that is just that is just causing cancer within the bones of the people. That is what it is. Carcinogenic. Carcinogenic means that which causes cancer. Well, it's not causing cancer to the earth, it is causing cancer to this earth here. That earth and this earth are one. That is what it is. And the environmental connection between the pollution of the earth, the air and the water, and the carcinogens in the atmosphere has been very well documented. Has been very well documented. So when I hurt the earth through my actions, then I reap the consequences in a very, very unpleasant fashion. Because it's one. Not because the earth is trying to, or Bhagavan or something is trying to take revenge on me. No, it's one. So then if the right hand cuts the left hand, it's going to, the person is going to bleed. Because it's one limb in fighting with another limb. And here the jiva is fighting with the whole in the form of the jagat, in the form of the five elements. So the whole body is just water, liquid, 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 coursing through the veins as blood. And all this very, very beautiful, just awesome. Then we have fire. Fire is there in two ways, present in two ways in the body. First, as 98.6 reading in the thermometer. And even though the person, looking at the thermometer says, oh, good, no fever, no temperature. Actually, that's wrong. Temperature is there, but it is what is called normal. The normal temperature is the presence of Agni. As soon as there is birth, the doula, doctor, midwife, whoever, they will touch the baby. It has to be warm. First, they touch Agni through the skin and the skin of the baby. Every practitioner, even though the doctor may be an atheist, silent prayer to Agni is being given, okay? Let this be a live birth. Oh, thank God. They may not say thank God. Oh, thank you, universe. Doesn't matter. The universe is God for us. Universe is another name for Bhagavan. So even though people get very fancy with their terminology and say thank you to the universe, they are thanking Bhagavan. It is the Bhagavan of the Upanishad. That is how it is. Doesn't matter. Don't look down upon the people who say thank you, universe, because they are understanding Bhagavan. They are on the way there. And then, so the doctor, even though the doctor may be a scientist and may not sort of say, oh, this God and all this, what is this? The doctor touches the baby and breaks into a smile. Happy. Touching the baby means touching the Agni element, the fire element. That is why the name of the Agni in the Shastra is Jata Vedaha. Jate Vidyate. That which is known soon at birth, at the moment of birth, that which is recognized is Agni. How lovely this is. So that is one way Agni makes itself known in the body right from the beginning until it withdraws itself. That is also due to another law of karma. More about that later. But for now, Agni is there. 98.6, that is Agni. That is the pet name of Agni as it connects to, as it pertains to the microcosm of this body. Another way Agni is known. Can you tell me now how else is Agni known in the body? You all know this.
That digestive fire.
Jatharagni.
Digestion.
Digestion.
I'm not hearing again. I don't know what's happening. Type it in the chat.
Jatharagni.
I'm not able to hear you. Yeah. Type it in
Jatharagni.
the chat pod. Yes. The fire, the digestive fire. Jatharagni. So whenever the 15th chapter is chanted, Jatharagni becomes active. So much so that in ashrams, when we are teaching in ashrams, we are even afraid to quote the 15th chapter in the class, because then people will get hungry, because there is some kind of a Pavlov's effect between the 15th chapter and Agni becoming active. Because the 15th chapter is traditionally chanted before the meals, and so the mind gets activated. Even if you hear the Aham Vaishvanara Bhutva in the middle of the night, suddenly, where is the food? Suddenly you want a midnight snack. That is how deeply the connection is. Jatharang, the digestive fire. That is how we know the fire. I am one with the fire. This all becomes upasana, meditation. And this is all the kind of contemplation of Ishvara. All you have to think is of the fire, the outside fire, the inside fire in all these ways. And that oneness, that itself becomes a lovely upasana. Agni upasana. Then after Agni, what else is there? Vayu. That is also very easy, even though we are going from the grossest to the subtlest. This is also extremely easy. All you have to do is breathe. And the air outside, Vayu. And then take a deep breath. The air is converted into my prana. Vayu inside becomes my prana. And it's not just sitting idle in the lungs. It is transformed into an agent of that just picks up all the toxins in the cells, in the mitochondria, the material of which the cells are made. And then it just courses through the body, cleans up everything. And then Nishvasita, when it is put out, then all the toxins go out, and the Vayu outside has its own way of self-cleaning itself. That's why it's moving all the time. If it was stagnant in one place, I tell you, we would have to evacuate this earth and go in search of some other planet to live in. That's why it's moving all the time. Even though you smell something bad like sulfur or something terrible, you smell some chemicals, immediately you just walk away, and then it's gone because the air is moving all the time. Thank God. It has a little bit of a self-cleaning mechanism. But then what? After a point, then it too is challenged, because we are releasing so many toxins in the air. So many toxins in the air. Air pollution, etc., etc. That's why. And that air pollution comes back into your own lungs, comes back into our own lungs. We are breathing the air. Where? In New Delhi, which is one of the most polluted places I hear. We are breathing the air. And that same air we are breathing, it is transforming into asthma. It is transforming into all other respiratory conditions for which is very difficult to cure. There is a oneness between the air I breathe and the air that is there. That oneness is this Vayu. That Vayu, oneness on the level of Vayu. Then come, finally, space. What is space? What is space? I don't know the meaning of space. That which accommodates is space. It is the subtlest of all elements. That which accommodates is space. And that space alone is there in between the joints. That's why when you're sitting for some time, you suddenly get up, tuck, tuck, tuck. See, the bones are, it feels like the bones are popping. It's the space between the bones, that popping sound you hear. That is space. Space makes itself known only through sound. That's all it can do. You go into an empty chamber and clap your hands. There is an echo. That is space saying hello. Hello back. That is what is space. And that space in the macrocosm, it is there everywhere. And when it is not there, you miss it. You say, I need more space. Go far away. You're just breathing down my neck. Don't do that. Space. And then that space is there within the microcosm of the body, mind, sense complex. That's why you say, I'm not here today. What is it about you in front of me? No, I'm kind of spaced out. I'm spaced out. And then there is space between the joints, there is space in the stomach, there is space everywhere. Wherever there is, needing to be there, it is there. And that's how you are one with this whole universe. And the whole universe is nothing but a manifestation of Ishvara. This is what is going to be talked about in the next mantra. So manifestation of Ishvara. And so you are one with Ishvara. And another way, you can say that I am one with Ishvara, because really speaking, ultimately these manifestations of Ishvara are jada. Jada means what? They are inert. I am more sukshma in the sense that I am Chetana. I am Chetana. I am a sentient being. I am the only thing in the whole universe that is sentient. The I is the only thing that is sentient. Nothing else is sentient. Space waits for me patiently to come and say, this is space. You are space. Space waits for the conscious being to declare it, to objectify it, even though it's difficult to objectify it. I can objectify space. How? With my sense of hearing sound. Sound and space, there is a synergy. I objectify space with only one sense organ, which is sound. And then what? Then I objectify the space, then we come this way. So then we have space, then we have air. I can objectify air with two sense organs. The sound in ears, okay? Then there is a new one. So when that whoosh, whoosh sound of the air, I can objectify air. And then if I dip my hands in water and go like this, I can feel the air, I can touch the air, I can move the air. Two sense organs I can objectify, because it's a little less subtle than space. Two sense organs. And then what? Fire, three sense organs. So the other two come. The sense of touch and the sense of hearing come. Now what is new to fire? Sight. I can see fire. Then water. The other three come along. Sight, touch, and hearing come. Taste. I can taste the water. I can't taste the fire. Even though we say water is tasteless, that is its taste. That is its taste. And then finally, earth. Gandhavati Prithvi. I can objectify earth through the sense of smell. And of course, all other senses also come along, because it's the grossest of all elements. In this way, I'm connected in a twofold way to the entire universe of the five elements. The first way in which I am connected is through this created body mind sense complex, which is connected to the universe, which is connected to the five elements. Because the five elements are the cause of this body mind sense complex. So I am connected in that way. And I'm also connected in the way of being a conscious being that is looking upon the creation and looking upon this universe, and having names for Vayu, Prithvi, Apaha, etc., etc. Amazing. Really, really amazing. This is the God of the Upanishads. This is the Ishvara that is being revealed. Let us see further. Just glorious. Then the next one, very nice mantra. अग्निर्मूर्धा चक्षुषी चन्द्रसूर्यौ दिशश्रोत्रे वाग्विवृताश्च वेदाः वायुः प्राणो हृदयं विश्वमस्य पद्भ्यां पृथिवी ह्येष सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा अग्निर्मूर्धा चक्षुषी चन्द्रसूर्यौ दिशश्रोत्रे वाग्विवृताश्च वेदाः वायुः प्राणो हृदयं विश्वमस्य पद्भ्यां पृथिवी ह्येष सर्वभूतान्तरात्मा. Very nice. So, Agni, the Agni, Murdha. Murdha means the mouth. So here, what is Bhagavan? How does Bhagavan look like? I can't relate to the formless. I want a form of Bhagavan. Okay, have a form. The mouth of Bhagavan. The mouth means mukha, head. The head of Bhagavan, Murdha. Head of Bhagavan is nothing but a ball of fire. Fire is the head of Bhagavan. Oh my God, what are the eyes? The two celestials, Chandra Surya, Chandra and Surya. And what are the directions? The directions from which sound comes is the ear of Bhagavan, ears of Bhagavan. And Vag, the speech of Bhagavan, Vivrita means the famous, which is an open secret, is the Veda. The Veda is the speech of Bhagavan. And then the Vayu, that the air which is there, is the prana of Bhagavan. Hridayam Vishwamasya. How lovely. The whole Jagat beats as the heart of Ishvara. The whole Jagat is the heart of Ishvara. How can you hate this Jagat? You are also included. You are the beating heart of Ishvara. The whole Jagat is the heart of Ishvara. And then Padbhyam, from the feet of the Lord, came the earth. Hesha, he, Esha, Sarva Bhutantaratma. The whole universe is the Atma, the Atma of the Lord. The Sarvabhuta Antaratma, the internal Atma of every part of every creation is just this Bhagavan. You want a name and a face to this Bhagavan? Sure. Look at the 5 elements. Look at the Vayu as the prana, as the breathing of Bhagavan. Look at the whole thing. Look at the Vayu as prana of Bhagavan, and look at the Agni as the face of Bhagavan. Look at the Agni as the Agni is the face of Bhagavan. Vayu is the prana of Bhagavan. And then look at the directions as the hearing of Bhagavan, the ears of Bhagavan. Like this, when you see, the Bhagavan is never away from the universe. Bhagavan, without becoming the universe, is sustaining the universe. And that is what it is created and sustaining the universe. That's why we talk about Vishnu, Vyapnoti, meaning that which is all pervasive. And not accidentally, there is the shloka, famous shloka in the Dhyana shloka of the Vishnu Sahasranama also, which the same sentiments are expressed. Bhuvpadau yasya nabhirviyada surada suranilaschandra surya ucha netre karnavasha shirodya mukhamapi dahanu yasya vastehyamabdhihi antastham yasya vishvam suranarakhagago bhogi gandharva daityaihi chitram ram ramyate tatribhuvanavapusham vishnumesham namami. Beautiful it is. Same thing. Bhuvpada, the earth is the feet of Bhagavan, whose feet are the earth. And Vyat, space, is the navel of Bhagavan. Like this, all this, the whole thing, the heavens, everything is in this Vishnu alone. And this is a very common thing in not just Vedanta, because Vedanta Shastra may be out of the bounds of many people. Many people are not interested. Many people feel they cannot understand. But Vishnu Sahasranama, it is chanted in every household. If it is not, it should be. It's amazing, amazing. So much Vedanta is there in Vishnu Sahasranama. In all the Sahasranamas, in all the shlokas, even in the folk songs, Vedanta is there. That is the culture, that is the beauty. And so everything here is Bhagavan. And if you want to think of Bhagavan, think of just anything in the universe, and you are already one with Bhagavan, cutting away the alienation, cutting through all the pain, the sorrow, the loneliness, and the feeling of being targeted. How can you be targeted if you are included? You can't be targeted if you are included. Think of school bullies. So if a child is being bullied, that means it's not being included, it's being targeted. You cannot be targeted and included at the same time. Those are two opposite things. So if you're feeling targeted, that is just a feeling. The reality is that you are included. As the five elements which are the manifestation of Bhagavan, in fact, this Agni is not a creation of Bhagavan, it is the very face of Bhagavan. Agni. Why? Resplendent, fiery face of Bhagavan. And then there are very beautiful correlations to the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which I would like to explore when 2 weeks from now. So, what is that? May 14th, I think, we will have the next class. And so, till then, I wish everybody a wonderful 2 weeks. And don't wait so long. Take the next classes that are available. Even tomorrow we have Gita class, and then Aparokshanubhuti. You're welcome to take all of them. Take care. All the best. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. Good morning. Good